It is one of the most valuable trophies on the planet. Its creation requires hundreds of hours of work and nearly 5 kilograms of pure gold. Each one can be worth more than $600,000. But how is the World Cup trophy actually made? We visited the workshop where it is produced to discover the entire process behind the creation of the most coveted trophy on the planet. Every 4 years, billions of people watch as a captain lifts this trophy toward the sky. But very few know the extraordinary manufacturing process that exists behind this cup. Each one is built almost entirely by hand, and it requires hundreds of hours of work to transform it into one of the most valuable and recognizable objects on Earth. Everything begins in Italy. In a discrete industrial area on the outskirts of Milan, you can find one of the most prestigious workshops in the world. Here at GDE Bertoni, a small group of Italian artisans gives shape to the most famous trophy in sports. For more than 50 years, this historic company has produced the World Cup trophy that millions of footballers dream of lifting. It is made from 18-karat gold, an alloy composed of 75% pure gold, which provides the necessary strength to withstand decades of use without becoming deformed. In total, it contains approximately nearly 5 kilograms of pure gold. It measures 36.8 centimeters in height, with a base 13 centimeters in diameter, and has a total weight of 6.17 kilograms. The elegant base is formed by 2 rings of green malachite, a semi-precious stone created over millions of years deep within the earth. The value of its materials alone exceeds $500,000, although its historical and symbolic value is impossible to calculate. Its design represents 2 human figures holding up planet Earth. The work was created in 1971 by Italian sculptor Silvio Gazzaniga, who wanted to symbolize the emotion, strength, and unity of people through football. The trophy appears to be solid, but in reality, part of its interior is hollow. If it were made completely from solid gold, it would weigh more than 70 kilograms and would be practically impossible to lift during the celebration. The names of the champions are engraved on the lower part of the trophy. Every national team that conquers the World Cup is forever inscribed in the history of football. The entire manufacturing process begins with a wax model. The artisans create an extremely precise reproduction of the trophy using a special wax for casting. Every curve, every muscle of the human figures, every relief of the planet, everything must be reproduced with absolute accuracy. This model will become the perfect pattern from which the final mold will later be created. Precision at this stage is critical. An error of less than 1 millimeter can multiply during the casting process and completely alter the proportions of the trophy. Once the wax figure is finished, a process known as lost wax casting begins. It is a technique that has been used for more than 5,000 years by civilizations such as the Egyptians to create sculptures of enormous complexity. The wax figure is repeatedly coated with special ceramic materials. Each new layer increases the strength of the mold. Over several days, the coating slowly dries until it forms a true shell capable of withstanding temperatures above 1,100 degrees Celsius. After that, the entire piece is placed inside a furnace. There, the wax melts completely and disappears. Many people believe that the trophy is made from solid 24-karat gold, but that would be practically impossible. Pure gold is extraordinarily soft. It could deform relatively easily during transport, or even when the players lift it in the middle of the celebration. For that reason, an 18-karat alloy is used, equivalent to 75% pure gold mixed with other metals. This combination provides the perfect balance between beauty, strength, and durability. Now comes one of the most spectacular moments. The gold ingots are placed into refractory crucibles. Inside the furnace, they reach temperatures close to 1,100 degrees Celsius. The metal changes from a solid state into a brilliant liquid with an intense orange color that resembles volcanic lava. At that moment, any impurity could completely ruin the casting. That is why the process is carried out under strict controls. When the gold reaches the exact temperature, an operation begins that lasts only a few seconds. The liquid metal is carefully poured into the ceramic mold. Its extraordinary fluidity allows it to penetrate even the smallest details. For hours, the metal cools slowly. If the cooling process were too fast, internal tensions could appear, capable of creating tiny cracks invisible to the naked eye. Patience at this stage is essential. Little by little, the golden silhouette of the trophy begins to take shape. It is the first time the cup can be seen, but it is still very far from its final appearance. The surface shows traces of the casting process. There are small burrs, channels where the metal entered, and microscopic irregularities. Now begins one of the longest stages of the entire manufacturing process. Using small tools and extremely fine abrasives, the artisans remove every imperfection. Every detail is checked again and again. Everything must preserve exactly the proportions imagined by Gazzaniga more than 50 years ago. At this stage, there is no margin for error. If too much material is removed, the damage would be irreversible. That is why a large part of the work continues to be done by hand, just like in fine jewelry. After the finishing process comes the polishing. First, abrasive wheels of different sizes are used. Then, increasingly finer compounds are applied. Finally come the polishing pastes, also used in the production of luxury watches and jewelry. The goal is not only to achieve shine, but also to remove any micro-scratch capable of scattering the light. When the process is complete, the surface reflects its surroundings almost like a mirror. It is precisely this finish that allows millions of flashes to appear under the lights of a stadium. Although most of the attention is focused on the gold, the base has extraordinary importance. It is made with 2 rings of malachite. Malachite is a mineral with an intense green color, formed over millions of years through geological processes connected to copper deposits. Each piece has unique veins. No two are exactly alike. Because of this, every World Cup trophy has an unrepeatable pattern. Before the trophy is completed, one final detail remains. On the lower part, the names of all the world champions are engraved. Each new winning national team occupies a reserved space. There is enough room to record champions for several more decades. When it is finally filled, FIFA will have to decide how the tradition will continue. Before leaving the workshop, each trophy undergoes a rigorous inspection. Specialists check the geometry, the weight, the dimensions, the uniformity of the polishing, the quality of the engraving, and the stability of the base. Even the smallest defect can force part of the process to be repeated. Only when everything reaches the required standards does it receive final approval. From that moment on, a strict conservation and security protocol begins. The trophy is cleaned to remove any trace of dust, protected with special materials that prevent scratches during transport, and stored in a case designed to absorb vibrations and changes in temperature. Every transfer is planned in detail and carried out under strict security measures, because it is not only transporting several kilograms of gold, but also one of the most valuable and recognizable sporting symbols on the planet. From that moment, it begins a journey that will take it across continents, to dozens of countries, and turn it into the center of attention for millions of fans. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and share it with someone who might find it interesting. And subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on to keep learning. See you next time.